I just watched all 8 episodes of the Spider-Noir show, and today I'm here to give my overall thoughts about what I think about the characters, the story, and many, many more. So yeah, I hope you guys all enjoy. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more of my content, and let's just jump right into it. Hello everyone. The intro would have already been filmed for this video, so I'm just going to jump right into it. We're going to start off with the positives of the show, and then we're going to jump right into the negatives, because I have a lot to say about the negatives. But we're going to start with positive. So, yeah, let's get this started. Alright, so my first positive from the show is that the noir suit looks freaking sick. It is so good, in fact, that I'm going to be attempting to make my own noir suit. With not this time with not a spandex mask, but with an actual learning how to sew, which would be a lot of fun. So look out for that video. But yes, the suit looks absolutely fantastic, and the web swinging, the CGI with it, and the way it looks all fantastic. The action is a lot of fun. And I will say, Nicolas Cage does a pretty good job. I mean, he's already done Spider-Man Noir, but through voice acting, him actually having to act it out is really fun. Crazy Nicolas Cage going off, and spoilers incoming, so watch out, okay? Boom, spoilers. Alright, now that you've been warned, here we go. We're gonna jump right into it. Okay, so episodes 1 through 5, I was very much not impressed with, I will say. Going into the show, I was expecting something very, very authentic to the comics. I was hoping this would be a good show. And it started off pretty good. It started off with him swinging around the city, beating up thug. I was like, okay, this is sick. Then the narration starts, and we learn about his girlfriend that he was going to marry. She ended up dying. He got drunk, and that's, she teaches him that with great power comes great responsibility, which at first very much bothered me, because the whole point of that lesson is that Uncle Ben tells him that. Now, I don't have much of a problem with that in No Way Home when Aunt May tells him, because it's still like a relative that tells Peter, and it's still a meaningful moment. When she tells Ben this, it's like, I don't know. I think they could have given Ruby more screen time, more scenes with her and Ben, instead of just showing a little flashback, so we could get the gist of it. But actually, there is no but. That she should have gotten more scenes. Also, I'm not a big noir comics guy, but is it a thing in the comics where he doesn't have agilities and stuff like that? Because in this show, Ben loses almost every fight he gets into. And yes, I will be referring to him as Ben instead of Noir, just so. He's called Noir. See, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into the whole licensing issue thing that happened. Okay, so. Where was I? Right. Ben losing these fights. Every fight he gets into, he gets the crap beat. In the first 5 episodes, he gets the crap beaten out of him. He keeps on losing. It's I don't know. It threw me off. It definitely threw me off. This Spider-Man has no agilities or heightened senses, heightened reflexes. He doesn't have any of that. He's just super strong, can crawl on walls, has a spider sense, and can shoot organic webbing, which is really cool. I like the organic webbing. It looks great. Now, I don't have a problem with this, because he wins some fights, but the majority of the important fights he loses in, which I understand why. And there was just long stretches of dialogue, and I understand you're doing it to build up characters, but I don't know. I feel like you couldn't get people to get entertained by this until you watch episodes 6, 7, and 8. That's when it starts to get good. That's when the good stuff comes in, which we will get into that. Also, I have to say, the side characters are really good in this. Robbie Robertson, not Joe. I don't care if they call him Joe Robinson in the show. I will refer to him as Robbie Robertson, because that is his name. I don't care about the language issues. He is freaking fun in this show. Every time he pops up on screen, it's almost like it comes to life. We just got done with a boring scene with Ben and whoever he was talking to about whatever bullshit was going on. I don't know. I barely remember it. And then we cut to Robbie and his reporter stuff. That's all entertaining. And he's he was the one promoting the Spider while Ben was in his prime. And Robbie's just a lot of fun. Especially when he got to put on the noir suit and pretend to be the spider. That was definitely a lot of fun. I had a good laugh with that. And I can't remember her name. Ben's secretary. I don't remember her name. She's also really good too. The relationship between her and Ben is very much established very early on. It's a very sweet connection between friends. And again, spoilers, I warned you. But her already knowing that Ben is the spider in a most hilarious way ever is really nice. And the fact that she didn't tell him, it almost kind of reminds me how back in, I forgot what comic it was. I'll have it on screen here. But Mary Jane always knew that Peter was Spider-Man ever since he crawled out of that window trying to go after Uncle Ben's killer. And from that day forward, she was very interested in Peter, she knew, but she didn't want... She waited for Peter to tell her so that... I don't know, it's... I haven't read the comic, so I don't really know what happens, but all I know is that one, like, panel. But that is a really sweet moment. And Cat Hardy, Cat Hardy. I really was just interested in anything she was in. I really did not care what she was doing. Like, you already threw me off by giving her the name Cat Hardy, which I get it. It's supposed to be like a 40s TV show. There's going to be some odd names in there, but Cat Hardy, you really couldn't have thought of anything better. You had to take the character's civilian name and their criminal name and combined it into one name, like... Okay. Oh yeah, also, the villains. Let's talk about the villains. Electro. Why am I going blank on this? Electro, Sandman, and Tombstone were three really, really good in this show. I liked them a lot. Sandman being very much a loyal, like, lackey for Silvermane was very cool, and his powers work were sick. I will say, though, I do wish his fist would turn into a hammer one time. That's all I wanted. Because that's a big, like, Sandman thing, is that he turns his hands into hammers and he just... But, you know, it's supposed to be a more grounded show, so I won't hate him on that. And Tombstone was really good. Instead of making him sort of like a gang boss, or even, like, the Kingpin, if you want to do the spectacular route, they made him just a guy down on his luck, who was dealing with the problems of police brutality, racism, being treated differently, like, especially in this time period. The fact that they took it upon themselves to do something like that was really interesting. And it made me very much invested in that character, and I'm glad all of them, well, 2 out of the 3 of them, got a very happy ending together. The relationship between Flint Marko and Cat Hardy was very... somewhat toxic, I guess. I don't know. It was a weird relationship. I guess they had chemistry. I just never... when the 2 of them were on screen together, I didn't really feel any chemistry. That could be just me, though. I might have to rewatch it. Speaking of, I watched the version in black and white. I will eventually rewatch it in color, maybe in a week or 2, and I'll come back with my thoughts after rewatching it and being like, maybe my opinions will change. This is me just, like, first viewing how I feel about it. But the black and white was really, really cool. I definitely liked it a lot. And the fact they even went for it in color was also really fun. What other stuff can we talk about besides the big licensing issue thing, which I'm going to save for later on. Okay, we'll talk about when Ben puts on the mask and embodies the spider. It's a lot of fun. Like, he's, like, kooky and crazy and weird. He's the most weirdest Spider-Man ever. We all thought it was, like, Andrew in TASM 1. But no, Noir takes that cake. Like, he is so the scene in the bar where he's just going ham on them, and he just does this and just go, like, shooting web. Like, that's funny. That is so weird. And Spider-Man's supposed to be a weird superhero, and the fact that Nicolas Cage embodied that was really, really good. Even without the mask, like, all this investigation stuff was sick. I don't remember who said this, but I remember someone saying that it was sort of like kind of like Bugs Bunny mixed in with, like, a realistic detective story, which I definitely get that. When Nicolas Cage pretends to be someone else, like the plumber or one of the patients or, like, a doctor, he's hilarious. Like, that's just purely Bugs Bunny. and it's amazing. Like, I will give Nick Cage all the flowers I can. He definitely I would say Robbie sort of hard carried this show for me, but Nick Cage was a close second. Like, he was phenomenal in this, and if they ever do like a season 2 or maybe even like a short film or something, I'm very interested in what happens. As far as Silvermane goes, we're gonna go back to the villains. As far as Silvermane goes, he was fine, I guess. He kind of sucked, but kind of a lame villain. They honestly could have just used like Kingpin, and it wouldn't have changed anything. Like, let's just take generic mob bosses. Like, let's just get a box of generic mob bosses and just pick one and plop it in the show. It really doesn't matter. In the comics, it was Norman. In other iterations, it's Kingpin. And then we have Silvermane. We have, like, 3 of the big, like, mob guys. So, I don't know. Oh, even, like, Tombstone in Spectacular, he was sort of like a mob. Did I already say Tombstone? No, I didn't say Tombstone. Okay, so... Oh yeah, Electro. Let's talk about Electro, or whatever his other name that they've given him. I know he had like a stage name that he did in the finale, but I don't remember it. I'm just gonna call him Electro. He's freaking hilarious in this. He's Mitch Bilski from Henry Danger, for those who don't know, for those nostalgia heads out there who watch Nickelodeon like I did. He's Mitch Bilski, which is very, very freaking funny. And he's funny. Him and Robbie both, like, made me continue to watch this show, because they were just entertaining to get through. Entertaining to watch. Like, all the stuff with Spider-Noir, that was fun and all that, but, like, Electro and Robbie, that was just, like, that was something else. That was definitely something else. Alright, so now we're gonna get into the licensing issue. Now, before the show even...
Hi, guys. Post-edit Spectacular Spider-Nerd here, so... I think I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't a licensing issue of the reason why they didn't use the name Peter Parker. Like, there was this article that said the showrunner changed his name to do a different aspect of the story, which, again, still seems pretty dumb, but still. I just wanted to correct myself, and I will resume the video here and now. Hope you all enjoy. Also, I should mention, the guy was not Electro, it's actually Megawatt, who is a different Marvel character. So, yeah, that's my fault. I didn't realize that. And now I will resume the video.
Came out, they announced that they were going to be doing a noir show, but they couldn't use the name Peter Parker. So, they knew about this, Sony and Prime knew about this, so they had to change the name to Ben Reilly, which I understand for a licensing reason why you had to change it to Ben Reilly. And it's not, like, that doesn't bother me as much as it would bother someone else. Like, I understand why you have to change his name from Peter Parker to Ben Reilly. With that said, what is with these other alternate names that you've given all these other characters? Like, Felicia Hardy is Cat Hardy. I've already explained how dumb that is. Robbie Robertson is Joe Robertson, which... I mean, okay. Uncle Ben isn't even mentioned in this show, because I don't even think they can mention Uncle Ben. Ben just got these powers during, like, the war from an experimental, like, German human spider experiment. And it was Ruby that taught him the lesson, so we just completely exiled Uncle Ben out of here, which, I mean, I'm kind of used to at this point. Ruby, I don't even think Ruby was that character. I think they wanted to use, like, either Gwen Stacy or Mary Jane, but they couldn't. And I don't know, that just leads to a big issue. You know the Marvel, Disney, Sony thing, the rights are just like flip-flopping around, and honestly, I just wish they would come into an agreement so we could get just perfect adaptation, because I would have preferred if Ben Reilly was called Peter Parker. I would have preferred if Joe Robertson was just Robbie Robertson. I would have preferred if Electro was called Max Dillon. Cat Hardy be Felicia Hardy. Like, I would have preferred that, but... I don't know. Just when I saw that label that just said Joe Robertson, I went, what? And I snapped. Because I was ridiculous. Because the entire show, they were just calling him Robbie. So I was like, oh, okay, they got to keep the name Robbie Robertson. That's pretty cool. And then they showed Joe Robertson. I was like, okay. And then when they revealed Felicia Hardy's name is Cat Hardy, I laughed. Like, that's hilarious. I know it's supposed to be a 40s type thing, but man, that is terrible. Silvermane got to keep his name. They could use the name Sandman. They called him the Sandman, but still, it's Sandman. Okay. Well, now that I got that off my chest, what else is there to talk about the show? Do I recommend this show? Yeah. If you like crazy Nicolas Cage shenanigans, you'll like this show. If you want to get into Spider-Man Noir but you don't want to read the comics, I wouldn't recommend watching this show. I'd recommend either watching Spider-Verse to see his little scenes in it, or even play Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, because he's really good in that game he's in. I would not recommend this show to if you want to get to know Spider-Man Noir. If you saw him in Spider-Verse and you're like, ooh, I would not. I would say read the comic, but if you didn't want to read the comic, then fine, watch the show. But you have to have someone there who has read the comics so they can explain to you what is going on. And now we're going to jump into the segment where I'm just going to start spewing random babble. So, yeah, 1 through 5 I was like not interested in. But when they jumped in straight in episode 6, when Ben got kidnapped, put in an underground lab, and they took half part of his like liver, I was in. The nightmare sequence he had, where it's like the giant like human spider and them cutting him open and giant spiders just spreading all around him. It was insane, and I was totally invested in it. And then Ben just started acting just crazy, like his body just crankling and moving like a spider. Like, that's all fantastic. And then episodes 7 and 8, they don't miss. Like, that was cool. And then they did sort of like the Raimi battle damage with the mouth and the eye, which was very cool. The show had a nice conclusion. If I were to rank this as like a live action Spider-Man tier list, I would definitely put this at the bottom. Yes, I would put it below No Way Home, or not No Way Home, Far From Home. Because even though I do not like Far From Home, I think it is the worst live action Spider-Man movie. I will say this show is worse. At least Far From Home has the Mysterio fights. Yeah, no, that's it. Just the Mysterio fight. Like, that entire just scene of Mysterio's, and then the ending with the spider, with him closing his eyes and beating all the drones. Like, it has epic moments in it. Where Spider-Man Noir just has little epic moments. That doesn't save the show for me. So if I were to give the show like a number ranking, let's see. I'd probably rank it like a 6 out of 10, or like a 5.5 to a 6 out of 10. It's very mid. It's in the middle. 6 and 7 and 8 carry it heavily to give it that number. If I was watching this before episode 6, 7, and 8, I would have given it like a 2 or like a 3. But you know. I do, yeah. 6 out of 10. So yeah, that basically does it for my review. Somewhat review, sort of just like a retrospective, just my thoughts on the Noir show. Do I think they should make a season 2? Yeah, I like to see what they can do, but there's probably not going to be a season 2. Probably not. But if there is, who knows? I say who knows a lot in my outro. Okay, we're just gonna cut, and we're just gonna cut to post-edit.
Alright, so that does it for my retrospective, or my thoughts on the Spider-Man Noir TV show. I did forget to mention one thing, and that was the mutated man spider that we see in the show. I think he looks really freaking good, and I think it looked really good. I liked the way the horror aspect of it when it bit Ben. That was very, very sick. And yeah, that just about does it. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And go follow me on my Instagram and TikTok so you can see different aspects of my socials. And yeah, later, Web Warriors.
Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention, I also think the outro, like the intro music for the show, I think it sucks. I think they could have done like a way better like 40s rendition of like a theme song or something, because I think the actual theme they used for the intro was completely mid. But yeah.